star quality?
Tupac. We found Tupac totally by accident. When I started Tupac and Omar Epps, when we were starting Juice, I knew that there were no actors that we knew of that could play these roles. There were no actors. I mean, some people were saying, get Malcolm Jamal Warner on the Cosby Show. No, 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 no. Love Malcolm. He's great, but not for my film Juice. So we really had an exhausting casting session. My casting director, Jackie Brown Carmen, first went through hundreds of people. We went to high schools of the performing arts, neighborhood theater groups, church theater groups in the tri-state area. And she went through hundreds of people. And eventually we narrowed it down. And
how did you find those two guys?
Well, Omar was one of the guys that came in, and I just liked his soulfulness. I just liked his natural soulfulness. I was having a hard time finding Bishop. A lot of guys were coming in, and they thought if I just act ballistic, go ballistic, then I'll get the role, which didn't happen. And I didn't know what I was going to be able to do. And then one day, Tretch from Naughty by Nature came in to audition, and he had this guy who was just hanging out with him. And so Tretch did a pretty good job. And I said, okay, thank you. And what about you? This other guy, what about you? He said, me? I said, yeah. You want to give it a try? He said, yeah, sure. Why not? So I gave him the scene to learn that they're called sides. I gave him the sides for the character of Q, the role that eventually went to Omar Epps. And he went away, and he studied, and he learned it. He came back and did a pretty good job. But something was telling me to try something else. And I said, and he did a pretty good job. And I said, hey man, can you stay a little bit longer? Can you read for this one? And I gave him the side for Bishop. And he said, yeah. So he went away, came back about an hour, 45 minutes later, and learned the lines and everything. And he was our Bishop. He not only did he capture the volatility of the character, but he also captured the pain that the character felt, that he was keeping down under, that he was, all the volatility was hiding a pain, this pain, his feeling of helplessness living in the neighborhood, of not having any juice or power in his neighborhood. And he became Tupac. And this was before he did any albums. He was still a background singer and a roadie for Digital Underground. So he was just electric. You just could not take your eyes off him. And fiercely intelligent, because he always had a notebook. And I think his notebook, I like to think that a lot of it was the music. I think he was writing what ultimately became some of his first albums.